Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. It's Cynicalex, and today we've got a ton of events coming in for April Fools and kind of the surrounding days, the 31st, the 1st, the 2nd, the 3rd, which is really cool, and it's a nice little kind of bounce off or trampoline before we get to endgame, so we can still have some steam going into possibly the largest update in the history of the game. So we've got first this April Fool's Retro Mode. I really like the sort of 64-bit thing that they got going on here with Warpath, Sabretooth, and Juggernaut. I think it's really cool, beautiful graphical improvements, probably poking fun at the aspect of the game that is the best and turning it into what would be basically the worst graphics. Now, these are still pretty nostalgic inducing, and I wouldn't mind seeing the game like this for a day or two, but we can't get rid of our beautiful Marvel Future Fight graphics. But there's the original one. Okay, I need to connect to the game to make this video, Netmarble. But there's a bunch of other things going on, and you can see the continuation of the April Fool's joke here in the game. Don't worry, it's not your phone. I mean, I don't know, maybe you're playing this like on like an S3 or something, so it might look like that anyways, but I don't know, maybe not an S3, maybe like a Nokia something or other. I don't know old phones. I don't know new phones. I don't buy phones anymore. But yeah, so it's continued there in a slight way. But in addition to that, there's a bunch of events going on that you can check in the event calendar. You can also see them in the inbox under Notice tab. So we've got the April Fool's Day celebration, and we're going to go through all of these, but we got all uniforms on sale, which is huge, from today for about a week. So definitely hit up my uniform guide. I'll post a link down below in the description. It's part of my master guide list of things. And that will help you kind of choose the best uniform to purchase if you do want to purchase uniforms, or if you're just saving for endgame, you might not. We've got a new faction war, which isn't on yet. I was actually waiting to make this video when the actual faction war was happening, but because of other reasons, I have to make this video now, and I have to warn you guys about this faction war. We've also got the Platinum gift box, which is there in the Notice tab, and then we've got the X Gene Selector login, which is huge. Energy missions, gold missions, these have not started yet, but those are basically those bonus stages where for spending a amount of gold, I think it's up to 20 million gold, and by spending up to 2,000 energy over the week, or over 8 days it looks like, you'll get a bunch of different rewards, 2,000 black antimatter, 100 chaos northern stones, etc. So the first one I'm going to do, well, I'm going to collect this, of course, my 20 XP chips. I'm going to pop the platinum gift box. Let me know what you guys get from this. I love getting black antimatter because of rank ups for native tier 2s and getting characters to level 70, so I never complain about that. But there's a lot more going on. The biggest one that I think that most people are going to be really happy about is the check-in reward. We are getting a new check-in event, and these 6 days are pretty decent, but then the 7th day gives 100 X Gene Selectors. So that's huge, and it's really nice that they're giving us. It's awesome for people that have been trying to build up some of these harder to get X-Men or kind of mutants. Maybe they can finish off a uniform upgrade. Maybe they can finish off the last gear on a character. I think the most likely candidates, I mean, we need to see more of these gifts. It'd be great, but the most likely candidates for these X-Gene Selectors, and I have a lot from purchasing in-game stuff. Warpath is an excellent choice for it, although you can farm him from the Dimension Rifts. Probably the two best choices would be either Nightcrawler with his new uniform or X-23. Of the two, I would probably say that X-23 is better. However, you should probably honestly save the X-Gene Selector if you can. It's probably going to be on a 6-day expiry, so that's actually not going to happen. But I would say, yeah, X-23 or Nightcrawler, and then as kind of like the top tier. And then second tier, I would say Angel and Warpath in terms of their value and in terms of how often you can get them from Rifts. But you may also even consider using it on someone like Domino or Phantom X if you're trying to get through the Deadpool Epic Quest faster. It's not the most efficient use of those 100 X-Gene Selectors. It's obviously best used on her or him. But if you don't have their uniforms, if you're not going to build them up, what's the point? But it's really nice to have it as an option and to actually be able to choose to do that. So kudos and yay for us for getting this, and hopefully we'll see more of these in the future, especially right after X-Men updates. It's really nice to get these to kind of complement those character upgrades. In addition, I just want to go through all of the events. They've posted it on their official forum. So we've got, again, mentioning the uniforms being on sale. This one, of course, only being for Thanos' uniforms. We've got the X-Men versus Inhumans event. And this is why I wanted to show you this image here, because I don't have it in-game. Now, some people may have confused the X Gene Selector that we're getting from the login and saying, oh, I want to use that on Colossus to finish ranking him up so I can unlock either the Deadpool quest, or I can unlock Strife if I get him to tier 2. You can't do that. He's a premium X Gene Selector type character like Weapon Hex and Gambit and Juggernaut, so he's not available through the regular X Gene Selector. However, you shouldn't use rank up tickets or any sort of items on him, because you're going to be getting, at minimum, I believe it's 120 or 150 biometrics, because the way that this faction works, if you've never done it before, at the very beginning it'll show you a splash page and you choose to be either on the X-Men side or on the Inhuman side. There's almost no difference which side you choose. The difference is that the winning faction will get 60 bios and the losing faction will get 40 bios, and then all factions will get an additional, what is that, 20, 40, 60, 80, 90. So additional 90 Colossus bios for everyone as long as you participate 250 times, which is super easy to do. So in total, you're going to get at least 130, but possibly 150 biometrics of Colossus, which should really help most players build him up if he's not at 6 stars yet, or try to push those gears to get him to tier 2. So it's really great to see these faction wars back. I always want them to tweak them. I always want Netmarble to tweak these events and make them a little bit more engaging and interactive, because basically it just tracks the things that you do in the game already and just rewards you points. But it doesn't reward you points if you use specific characters like X-Men on the X-Men side or Inhumans on the Inhuman side. It doesn't reward you extra points for doing things quickly or doing things in any sort of specific way. It's just kind of mindless grinding. But it's still pretty nice. And of course, the one lucky MVP who does the most crazy grinding will get 3,000 crystals and some other rewards. So this is really nice extra energy. It's actually quite an awesome event that we see a couple of times a year. We've already talked about this, we've already talked about this, and then these are the rewards for hitting to 20 million gold on the gold event when it goes live tomorrow, and then these are the rewards for getting to 3,000 energy for the energy bonus event. So these are both quite nice, and it's just a bunch of free stuff. 100 biometric selector, 250 black antimatter in total, some Uru, some hidden tickets, all that stuff. Really, really awesome, and I can't wait to see kind of what's coming around the corner, because there's so many things being given away. It's really nice, and we're only going to get more when Endgame lands, which is pretty wild. So I wanted to make that kind of PSA type announcement for the Colossus situation, in case there's anyone out there who's itching to use a 6-star ticket on him to get him up to 6 stars, or even a 5-star ticket. Hold your horses and save your rank up materials, because you're going to be getting bios for him shortly. You have to wait until the end of the event to collect those last 40 or 60 bios, but you will get those 90 as soon as you collect the 250 participation. So you'll probably end up getting 10 to 20 Colossus bios sent to your inbox per day as you complete the 5 participations, 10 participations, 20, and then you'll probably end up just slowing down to one pack of 10 per day for the next 5 days, and then you'll be done with it. You'll have the 90, and then you just have to wait for the event to finish to get the last remaining 40 or 60. In addition, we've got some featured shop items that are on sale right now. The Mega Tier 2 Advancement Ticket is a pretty steep purchase. You have to save up a ton of crystals, but you will, because it always hits the maximum, you will get half of it back once the sale is over in 2 days and 18 hours. So keep in mind that you have to upfront put up that much, but then you'll get back 4,100. Do I think it's worth it? I think for newer players it definitely is worth it, because these 300 selectors can help you build up the gears and the characters like Morgan Le Fay, Minerva, Iron Hammer, characters like that, even Sharon Rogers. The 5 million gold is always nice, but then that Mega Tier 2 ticket is super useful for especially rare characters like Luna Snow. You can save up 4,000 bios, you pick her as your premium 6-star hero, and then boom, you can save up at least, you can save up about 2,000 crystals per month. So you basically, it's for a month if you're completely free to play, but that's not even considering any extra crystals that they would give you from any sort of 6-week login event. Like they just had another 6-week login that we finished off, that was another 1,200 crystals, so it'll probably take you less than 4 months to do it and save it up. But that would be probably the ideal situation for those players that are trying to get the cheapest way possible to get your tier 2 Nick Furies, your tier 2 Luna Snows, and those kind of super premium heroes that you want to use those mega tier 2 tickets on. You don't want to waste them on farmable heroes. We also have these special offers back in the store. These are decent. Of course, you want to choose the one that has what you want specifically, but I think this is probably the best one for newer players. It's a pretty aggressive price for crystals. It's pretty, there's only 100 crystals difference between this one and the offer for Agents number 1. So trading 100 crystals for the bios and the gold, you get 100 bios and gold, whereas with this one, I think you get 30 bios. So it's a difference of 70 biometrics, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, it's 50. So actually 50 crystals or 100 crystals for 50 bios. I don't know if I would do that actually. That might actually be a bad deal. 500,000 gold. Now that I think about it, you might want to skip the biometric one if you really want it. Just get the offer for agents. But for the black antimatter or the phoenix feathers, it's probably a little bit more appealing because, yeah, I would say 200 phoenix feathers for 100 crystals is not the best offer. But if you need those phoenix feathers badly to like finish off a uniform or something like that, it's huge. Additionally, just keep in mind, because I'm pretty close on it, so I wanted to remind you guys, the uniform collections are expiring pretty soon. Again, it's not a really good offer. It's not a really good reward, 375 crystals. But if you're like me and you already had, or you kind of super maxed Wolverines quickly, you had X-23s almost there. I just have to get the last option, the last upgrade on Archangels, and then I'll be done. So I'll probably be able to hit up these 375 crystals just by chance. This one's a little bit harder because it includes Nightcrawler and Colossus, who are both really hard to get biometrics for, and most players only have, one of these maxed out of 4. So again, this is the worst reward as well. Mcron crystals versus Phoenix feathers. They really need to look at these a little bit more carefully and think about these rewards. But I like bringing them up because the animations are really cool. And once you finish them, you can always go back and click and check it out. And it actually is really cool. It makes for some really nice angles if you can, get things to line up properly. And you know what? For those young YouTubers out there, you can make some really cool screenshots and some really cool thumbnails from these from the is something going through his head from these images. There was a rock going through Loki's head, I swear. No, it was there. It was definitely there. Maybe it's that one. Anyways, guys, let me know what you think of all of the upcoming events. Let me know what you think of the April Fool's event. Who remembers the Thanos farmer mode April Fool's event from like 2 years ago? That one was quite hilarious. I like the retro one a little bit more, but there was also the dance off April Fool's joke after Guardians of the Galaxy 1 that a lot of people really liked. The Dance Dance Revolution type game mode with Amadeus Cho on the cover. Hit me up in the comments down below. Subscribe if you enjoy the content and you want to support me. And of course, if you like what you see, I hope to see you again tomorrow. Take care.